So this is the new HRM-Fit external heart rate monitor from Garmin. So what they've done here is take everything from their flagship HRM Pro Plus heart rate strap and made a version specifically created for women where instead of a wraparound strap like their HRM Pro, this attaches with clips to the bottom of a sports bra. I couldn't properly test this particular device myself, of course, so I had some friends test it and we'll be getting their thoughts and impressions in terms of comfort as well as fit to see if this concept actually works. And then just like all my reviews, we'll also be talking about all the features and accuracy and all that good stuff. So from a feature standpoint, in terms of what kind of data that this strap can collect, it's identical to Garmin's HRM Pro or HRM Pro Plus heart rate straps, where at the core, the HRM-Fit is an ECG-based external heart rate monitor that pairs to nearly any device out there that compared to Bluetooth or Ant+ external heart rate sensors. So that's basically the majority of smartwatches out there, pretty much any bike computer, an iPad if you're using something like Zwift or Apple Fitness+, a PC, a Peloton bike, and even plenty of gym equipment. And then if you already own a smartwatch or sports watch, you can definitely still benefit from an external heart rate monitor like the HRM-Fit, even though your watch already has a heart rate sensor. Most smartwatches nowadays have pretty decent heart rate sensors that work well for most cardio-based activities, but there's certain kinds of activities that can pose challenges for wrist-based optical heart rate sensors, like weight training and high-intensity interval training, due to a lot of wrist flexion and arm movement, which can throw off those kinds of sensors. So that's where with those kinds of activities, using an external heart rate strap can yield more accurate results. And in terms of accuracy, it's super accurate just like their HRM Pro or HRM Pro Plus heart rate straps, and there are no issues with the HRM-Fit, whether that was running, cycling, or weight training. And just for some additional info in regards to accuracy, for all my heart rate testing for all the smartwatches and stuff like that, I use either an HRM Pro or a Polar H10 as a reference. So accuracy-wise, the HRM-Fit is just like the HRM Pro. It's great. And then in regards to how it actually attaches to a sports bra, so there's basically 3 attachment points. So there's one on the front and then 2 on the sides. And you basically kind of just open up this little lever. And then there's also this kind of hook right there. And then you just clamp it down. So now let's talk about some of the more unique features of the HRM-Fit. So with the HRM-Fit, it has the ability to store heart rate on the strap itself, and you can use this in a few different ways. So the first of which is that since it can store heart rate, you can wear just the HRM-Fit for activities where you don't necessarily want to wear your Garmin watch and still collect all that data, which will then be synced back to your Garmin device. So whether that's something like rock climbing, weight training, or high intensity interval training, yoga, or basically whatever activity where you would prefer not to wear a watch, what you can do is just wear the HRM-Fit, start the activity on your watch, put the watch aside, and then go about your activity. And then once you're done with the activity and then get back to your watch, you just go to save your activity, and what your watch will do is download the heart rate data that's stored on the strap. Now, one thing to note though is that not all Garmin watches have this capability to download the stored heart rate data after your activity, but basically most of their more sports-focused watches like their Forerunners, Phoenixes, and Epix watches can do this. And then some watches like their Venue series don't have this capability. Nearly all Garmin watches can pair to an external heart rate sensor and collect that data if the watch and the heart rate sensor are close to each other during the activity. It's just that not all Garmin watches can download the heart rate data from the HRM-Fit after the fact. But I'll have a link to a list of compatible devices that you can check out in the video description below. And then another way to use this heart rate storage feature is without any watch, bike computer, or anything like that at all. So what you can do with the HRM-Fit is that you can pair it to the Garmin Connect smartphone app. So what you can do here is, again, wear the HRM-Fit for your activity, and then once you're done, you'll sync it with the Garmin Connect smartphone app, and what it'll do is it'll download all the stored heart rate data, which will then be synced with the app and account for all your calories burned during your activity. It doesn't necessarily create an individual activity like you can do if you're using it with a compatible watch, but it will still account for your calories. And then one more interesting thing that the HRM-Fit can collect is actually steps. So this can also be collected from the strap and then fed back into your daily stats in Garmin Connect. Now, in regards to swimming, so the HRM Pro and the HRM Pro Plus are meant for swimming, and a big reason for this is that heart rate storage feature, because Bluetooth and Ant+ signals don't travel well through the water. So having the heart rate storage feature kind of allows you to collect that data while you're swimming and then offload it to your watch after you're done. But Garmin didn't necessarily seem to mention in their press materials whether the HRM-Fit was intended for swimming or not. It is waterproof and all, plus it also does have the heart rate storage feature just like the HRM Pro, but based on the design where it has to attach to the bottom of a sports bra, well, at that point it wouldn't work on one-piece suits. So I'm guessing swimming isn't necessarily one of the intended uses of the HRM-Fit. Another feature of the HRM-Fit is that it can collect advanced running dynamics such as stride length, vertical ratio, which is how much vertical movement your body's making versus your horizontal movement, ground contact time and ground contact time balance for how long each foot is staying on the ground, as well as running power. Most of Garmin's more high-end sports watches already collect a lot of this data from the wrist itself, but you'll get the additional ground contact time balance metric with the HRM-Fit. And then one more feature related to running is that the HRM-Fit can also provide more accurate speed and distance data while running indoors, whether that's on a treadmill or an indoor track, using all the sensors that it has on board in conjunction with your Garmin watch. Now, for this to work best, I found that it's good to run outside first at varying speeds for a few different runs so the heart rate strap can get an idea of your running dynamics, which will then help it calibrate to get a better estimation of speed and distance while running indoors. Funny enough, I actually tend to get pretty good results from most Garmin watches just from the wrist-based measurement without a strap, but that's something to try if you're not getting accurate distance from the wrist with your Garmin watch. But again though, for pretty much all these specialty features of the HRM-Fit, like the offline heart rate storage, the offline step storage, as well as the running dynamics, these are all features that are specific to the Garmin ecosystem and only with certain Garmin devices. Oh, and then one last thing before we get into comfort and fit is that just like the HRM Pro Plus, the HRM-Fit has a convenient battery compartment where you can change out the battery easily, where all you need to do is have a coin or something like that to rotate this cover. Not quite as convenient as the HRM Pro Plus, where you don't need any tools at all, but still much more convenient than the original HRM Pro or HRM Dual. All right, so when it comes to comfort and fit, well, I can't really speak to this device right here. So I enlisted a couple friends to help me test this. So this is my friend Dusty. Dusty, this is everyone. Everyone, this is Dusty.
Hi, everyone.
So first off, thanks for helping me test this out. So Absolutely. I've actually got a few different perspectives for you here. So Dusty is a runner and she does not typically wear an external heart rate strap. So she's kind of new to this whole situation. So she's kind of got a fresh perspective on it. And then I also had another friend test it. She's more of a cyclist and does some weight training, and she typically does wear a chest heart rate strap. So I guess first off, I had you try a few different different straps here. So let's start out with like kind of the more traditional one right here. So what was your take on that whole situation?
Yeah. So I will say not wearing anything, going from that to wearing something is just different. It's a different feel, which I'm sure you get used to after a while. Initially, I was like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable. But when you put this on, goes on easy. It stays in place. I just tucked my bra over it. And after a while, I forgot that it was even there.
Okay.
This one I forgot right away. So this one to me just felt very normal.
Okay.
This one I just like popped on and I thought, oh, imagine that. This is like easy peasy.
With the traditional strap, did the additional strap being around your chest, in addition to your sports bra, was that bothersome to you at all or anything?
Initially.
Okay.
Because you're like, oh, this thing is there.
Sure.
But I think that was mostly mental.
Okay. And then
and then you just forget that it's there.
Got it. And did it happen to slip down on you at all?
No.
So that's basically, that's about the same sort of feedback that my other friend has, is that, initially, obviously you'll kind of feel that, additional strap around there, but after a while she's totally used to it. She does have it occasionally slip down every so often. It's kind of rare. I don't know, like for me personally, I have a chest heart rate strap. They'll slip down on me, I don't know, like once in 100 times, so you may have to readjust it, sort of thing. So yeah. In regards to the HRM-Fit though, so I guess first off, was it any more comfortable because it wasn't the additional strap?
No, I actually think that this was less comfortable.
Interesting.
To me.
So tell me why.
So this one you actually clip in. Okay. So you clip in all 3 spots. I felt like I was more aware of it. It also buckled a little bit, which was uncomfortable, like right here. Mm-hmm. And then this side, for me, slipped down. And so when it would slip down, then I was really aware that it was there. And then I'd want to stop and put it back. And then I would go further. It would slip down, I'd stop and put it back. And it wasn't terrible. It quite possibly is just the bra that I was wearing. I think if I had a sports bra with a big strap on the bottom, like a lot of sports bras have, that this would have a place to clip into and it probably wouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Mine doesn't have a big strap at the bottom.
Okay.
So it does have a strap, but it's not super thick. It's not something for this to easily clip into.
Okay. So I guess, in terms of security, you actually did have it kind of buckle off of the side here. So did you happen to feel your arms like hitting the clasps at all?
The first time that I ran, I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was like trying to be aware. This time I was more aware. I'm like, oh, is my arm hitting this? Do I need to be paying attention to this? Sometimes my arm does come in closer.
Okay.
And so I do think that with all the layers, because it's pretty cold here in Colorado right now. So this morning I definitely had on a lot of layers. And I'm sure that was like impacting or kind of bumping up against.
Interesting. So yeah, my other friend who wore it, she didn't have any issues with the security at all. So she didn't have it necessarily slip off or anything like that. However, again, she's more of a cyclist and does weight training. So she maybe didn't have the like kind of like repeated arm movement as well as like impact of running, which could have made that slip off right there. And she found it to be slightly more comfortable than a wraparound chest strap just because there wasn't the additional strap. But for her, it was kind of neither here nor there, in terms of the comfort. She would kind of take either, I guess you could say. But yeah, with her though, she did happen to feel those clasps on the side during some weight training and high intensity interval activities. So
when this strap was slipping down on her, was that also when she was doing high intensity?
Yeah, it was more like the boot camp type of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
I could totally see that happening. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, and then we also talked about kind of like the overall height or the depth, I guess you could say, of these. So that's definitely something that struck me when I first took it out of the box. So what was your experience with that?
Yeah. So after wearing it a couple of times, I didn't notice it as much the second time. The first time I was really worried because this gap, like I always tuck my cell phone in my sports bra. I can talk today. And I was like worried that the gap was going to like cause things to fall through or just be kind of funky. It is noticeable. And I was wondering if maybe that was part of why it was slipping off because I'm really small chested. So maybe this angle is like not quite what this is intended for. So maybe if you did have a larger chest, this would be great.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess that's something we discussed earlier is that, based on your torso size, that will kind of impact like how much these wrap around and how much that you actually may hit those with your arms there too. So yeah, pretty interesting feedback, very similar in a lot of respects. So I guess it, like I said, it may depend on your torso size, how that's going to work. It's definitely going to depend on the material as well, and possibly even what kind of exercise that you do with the HRM Fit, whether it's going to be appropriate for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Thanks, Dusty, for all your help.
You're welcome.
So yeah, from a comfort and fit perspective, kind of interesting to hear a couple of viewpoints on it. Now, a couple things I should note is that Dusty mentioned that the strap on the bottom of her sports bra wasn't the thickest, so it may be the case of needing a thicker material or thicker strap for that grippy hook thing to hook onto. There is also the possibility of accidentally clamping the sports bra material on the outside of the hook portion of the clasp, but what I found with just playing around with it with a few different materials is that nothing really seems to stay in place at all when you do that. So I'm not really sure that's what actually happened in Dusty's situation. Either way, it sounds like probably the main reason that you may want this particular HRM Fit is if you have issues with traditional chest straps slipping down, or if you don't like the additional strap around your chest. And again, it may not be for everyone either based on what kind of bra that you have and even the kinds of activities that you do. Anyhow, that's the new HRM Fit external heart rate sensor from Garmin. And if you have any questions about it that we didn't get to, feel free to drop those down in the comments section down below, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. And also make sure to check out the in-depth review of Garmin's new Lily 2 smartwatch, which I'll also have linked down in the description below. And if you found the information in this video useful, do me a favor and just hit that like button. And in the meantime, have fun out there, and we will see you in the next video.